Welcome to Cosplayers Paradigm, a podcast about everything cosplay related, from the conventions that you love to the people that you love even more. And now, let's get on to the show.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Cosplayers Paradigm. Today with me, I have a gentleman who deeply wanted to be part of Season 1 and due to unforeseen circumstances was unable to, but true to his word, he is back, he is here, and we are glad to have him here. Everyone say hi to Mace, Miles Ahead Cosplay
Miles
and
Ahead
Effects.
Cosplay and Effects.
Yes.
Mace for short, but for all my friends and family, they can call me Matthew.
So, how are we today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
It's great to have you here. Now, let's go ahead and get started off with what the main question, of course, is what actually got you into the whole cosplay aspect of everything?
Oh, man. Going all the way back, you're looking probably your early to mid 80s. You know, you see your cartoons, you see your comic books. For me, it all started with the 1983 series Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, yes.
my brother, who's 3 years older than me, he had the original sets of books, and I, being the younger brother, I wanted to be just like my big brother. And so as time went on and I'm in school, I developed this love for Dungeons and Dragons and the fantasy aspect. And then you have the movies coming out like Excalibur and all those big epic, and you just wanted to be the hero so bad. And eventually, as time went on, my love for Dungeons and Dragons grew even more, that I actually branched into the live action role play.
Okay.
So I've been part of that combat sphere for probably about 15, 20 years now. And I finally got to the point of actually starting to create characters. And then, as all things do and all divine providence kind of puts in, I ended up going to school. And I originally wanted to go to school for film because I always enjoyed the film end of things. But as divine providence usually has, the school didn't offer the film program part-time. And being a working adult, I couldn't go full-time to this private college. And I couldn't afford the tuition to go full-time for the film program. But they had the special effects program running all the time. So they always had a part-time program. So I'm like, okay, I'll do that because I'm here. I got to go. So I ended up joining the special effects program, and I just started really getting into it then, and really developing characters and really getting into the end of it. And then once I graduated college, I then got into doing practical effects and stuff like that. And then I just went to my first Comic-Con out here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And I'm like, oh, these are my people. I've been missing this my whole life. And I've been doing it ever since, developing new characters, new cosplays, and really digging deep into the business end of it. And I'm really loving this world that I'm in now.
I've heard that from a lot of people, that they've gone to their first con and they're like, this is my people, and not realizing this is a thing.
Yeah.
Yes, cosplay is a thing. Imagination, creation, and having fun and being yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
We're here and we're welcoming. So by all means, if you know someone who cosplays, if you cosplay yourself part-time or anything, come join us. Find someone on Facebook who is a cosplayer or a con, follow. Seriously, I mean, how fun is it to go ahead and meet your new friends that have the same likes? You can go ahead and, it's like camp,
Oh, yeah.
There's your other family.
Yeah, no, I love meeting new people and talking about this wild, wacky world that we all do now. And it's just been, it's been more over the last 10 years that it just became normalized. I hate to say it, but finally, the people who were the weird ones are now the normal ones. And I am not mad about that at all because I love what I do.
It was well said in one of the earlier movies back in the 90s. We are the weird ones.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm absolutely fine with that.
Yeah. Not
You
mad
know?
about it. Whatever.
No, definitely not. I mean, I grew up watching the cartoons like you mentioned, Dungeons and Dragons, Thundercats, G.I. Joe, all of that, and absolutely fell in love with it. But it wasn't until much later that I even started playing the game. So
Yeah.
bad on my part, but still, hey. And I'm grateful that I was introduced to a wonderful game by a wonderful person, best friend, and he is just amazing.
Yeah.
So I definitely need to reach out more, but that is hugely bad on my part. So
Don't we all?
yeah, but I'm really bad about it. So I need to change, and I understand that. But no, you got into the special effects. You saw what you wanted to do. You got into another aspect of it, and that's amazing. Now, you said that the college you went to and you got a certified, in it from Savini.
Yep. The Tom Savini Special Effects Makeup Program, based at Douglas Educational Center in Monessen, Pennsylvania. And he was actually there quite a bit my whole time there. And he'd sit down with the students for an hour. You'd be seeing him ventilating away, teaching people how to ventilate or, stippling makeup on. Everybody gave him a bad rap for a very long time over one publicized incident that just got taken so out of context back in the day. Every opening class that comes in, he's like, whoever finds these people, tell them I'm sorry. This was a bad day. But he's been awesome. Every time I've talked to him, he's been awesome.
Yeah, he is actually a really cool guy. Sadly, I didn't get a chance to stay long to talk to him, and he was a bit busy, it looked like. But he was actually at the Motor City Nightmares just about a month ago.
Yeah.
So I was able to, pass by and actually meet him, which was something I've been wanting to do for a long time.
Yeah. I had probably a half-hour conversation with him one day outside of the building. I was like super down on myself because I walked into a program that I had no artistic background for, and we had about a half-hour conversation. He's outside smoking, and he made me feel completely different about the whole entire process. And I finally found my niche, and it just took off after that.
See, that's great, and it's just it's like with everything in life, going into something and you're not familiar with it, don't hold that accountable against you or anything. Everyone that actually knows a lot about this, whatever you're going into, had to learn at some point. Everyone has been a beginner.
Absolutely.
And it's like cosplay. Don't let the professional cosplayers put any fear in you of not wanting to do it. It's like, I can't pull that off because those wings are amazing or that armor work. You got duct tape, you got cardboard, and you have an imagination, you're a cosplayer. Just start somewhere, have fun, and keep going.
Yeah, the very first cosplay I saw at my very first con, walking in the door were a couple of people with sheets on from Beetlejuice.
See?
It worked.
You know exactly who it is, and it worked. Yeah, like you said.
People got it.
Yeah, years ago, I had a costume that was made for me. I went as the Predator. Went into a costume contest. I was beat out by a kid wearing a complete Zinni suit, the really tight ones, with tons of peanuts taped to him, and he went as the Planner's Peanut. And, I felt like, I was upset at the time, but afterwards, I thought to myself, that's actually really brilliant.
Yeah.
Simplistic. And it took me a bit right there because I can't say it was salty, but it was just, I didn't understand why. But, a couple weeks into it afterwards, thinking about it, it's like, okay.
Yeah, there's been quite a few contests that I've seen that at the time I'm like, there's no way that doesn't work. And then later on, I'm thinking, yeah, I get it. Yeah, I should have looked at it a little more openly. And then, it just worked out for sure.
That's something I had to do. I mean, I was never negative against anyone's costumes.
Oh yeah.
It always made me wonder. I was like, huh. And now I've gotten that, the eyes are open to all the different aspects, from
Hmm.
creativity to artistic and
Yeah.
enjoyable and just fun. And now I can enjoy it even better.
Yeah. Yeah. I found that I can obviously, I look at the contests and the way people got to where they're at with them in a completely different light. Um,
Yep.
Especially now that I'm on the inside of that costume now, I I see it now, and I wish I would have saw it sooner. But yeah, it doesn't matter how complex or how simple it is, just do it. I stress this in my first panel that I had at Capital City Comic Con just this past June,
Okay.
and it doesn't matter if you've never done it before. It doesn't matter if you've done it a million times. Just get out there and have fun. God, have fun. Uh, I would say don't make it a business, but then I'd be kind of hypocritical there. Um, but all in all, I still have fun with it. Even if I don't make any money whatsoever, I love what I do. I love the people that I'm around, and I love the conversations I've had based on cosplay. And I would have never had those conversations had I not just went out and tried it.
So true. So true. So how has it changed from when you first started to now?
Uh, how's it changed? Um, I would say now, even the people that you don't see dressed up get why people dress up now. Now it used to be, I would say more back then. It was the people who dressed up were more a addition and kind of separate from everything else. It didn't feel cohesive. But
Okay.
now at every con you go to, it's just everybody gets it. Everybody knows why we're doing it. Everybody knows they could pick out their favorite characters. They see me from a mile away and they're like, "Oh my God, it's you! I've seen you! And I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" But it's now everybody gets the costumes and everybody looks forward to the costumes. Back then, I think it was a novelty, but nobody really interacted with it. Now we are just as much a part of the con as the con itself. And I think everybody really took that to heart over the span of the last 5, 10 years. And now it's almost like you can't have the circus without the clowns. And now we're all the cosplayers are the con and the con are the cosplayers. And I think we're more synonymous now than it's ever been.
It's a great feeling.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think I could go to a con without the cosplayers there. I don't think I could. I think I'd feel weird. I don't think it would feel the same.
Yeah, I've gone to a couple of them where I'm not dressed up, and you know, it does feel a little weird because now it feels like you're a bystander, that you're not completely part of it.
Yeah.
But that's not bad. That's not,
Yeah.
maybe that's just how you feel, or maybe you're, had a crunch time and you didn't make the costume in time, or so
Yeah.
never feel that not going in cosplay is a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's just now it feels a little different on the back burner once you've actually been, like you said, behind the mask and
Yeah.
actually part of it.
Yeah. I
But
found that when usually the first couple hours of the con, I'll go in just straight as is because I kind of want to get a lay of the land. And it's like halfway through going through an exhibit hall, I'm just like, okay, I got to go put something on. This just, I got to be part of what's going on. I got to be part of this now. And I think everybody who gets dressed up now feels they're a part of that con. They're not just going to an event, they are part of the event. And I think that makes it a much more cohesive event that everybody feels they're a part of than just showing up to buy a few odds and ends and then you're out. If you get to knowing some of the people who do it and some of the people who are just walking around in costume, you'll be like, oh my God, why have I not been doing this? And I see more and more families doing it, and more people feeling like they're a part of this event. It's almost getting to the point where it's like your Renaissance fairs and your medieval villages and stuff, where people start to get dressed up because they want to feel like they're a part of it. But those are they don't feel the same. They just don't. Like going to a Comic-Con and you have your cosplayers there, you see the interaction. At those, it's like you feel like you're part of the set piece, but you're not really involved. You go to a Comic-Con, man, you are involved. You don't get to get away without being involved.
This is true. I have not gone to a Renfest myself, but I have seen my fair share that people have posted videos, and I see what you mean. I mean, those who dress up, they're still enjoying it, but it's not like it's a big community where everyone connects together on that level as Comic-Con.
Right. Yeah.
Others that show
absolutely.
up there, they're kind of like a set piece that you can still interact with, but they don't actually go through the whole fest, at times. Some do, some don't. Where at a con, it's an amalgamation of everyone all over the place with different genres, different styles, different eras. And, don't get me wrong, both are great.
Yeah.
It's just they have a different feel, but the feel doesn't have to be bad. It's just different,
Yeah. I've gone to Ren fairs my whole entire life, and they're awesome for what they do. But I'll take a Comic-Con any day of the week because there's just that interaction that you don't get as much as at one of those, where you may see somebody and you'll be like, oh, you look great. They're like, oh yeah, you look great too. And then you're gone. Here, everybody will stop you and you'll be like, that looks awesome. Tell me how you got to that. And then you have that interaction, you have that communication that I just don't think you get at other various events that are kind of along the same vein.
I think it's primarily because you have so many different options at a Comic-Con. You have comic book, you have cartoon, you have anime, movies, TV series, a little bit of everything from male, female, monster, robot, where at a Renfest, it's pretty much all fantasy in one style, maybe different, your legend, Tom Cruise's character with the armor, or your Merlin or Arthur. So awesome still, but it's easier to dismiss just because of the fact that you're all in the same genre. You still love it. Don't get me wrong, you still love it.
Oh yeah.
It just doesn't have that sudden tap you on the shoulder. Oh my God, I got to get a picture. You're amazing.
Yeah.
But there are some people at the Renfest that do take it above that notch right there.
Yeah.
And, whoa. I got to.
Yeah. Usually, like a lot of the ones here in Michigan have been really cool with a lot of the LARP groups, especially us who dress up in orc characters and fantasy characters, and wouldn't let us in to, kind of get the crowd moving, get them, discussing something. And we've worked with quite a few of the Ren fairs because we do the full kit, and they've been really awesome with us, and just to bring some of that Comic-Con interaction to the Ren fairs, that you just kind of, you're there, but you don't get the same kind of interaction. It's just not the same.
Yeah. Now, for all the cons, Ren fairs, anything that you've gone to like this, what would you say is your favorite cosplays that you've ever seen?
Oh boy! You opened up a can of worms on that one.
Trust me, I get it. To give you an idea, for me, a few years back at the Grand Rapids Comic-Con, there was a guy dressed up as the giant rabbit from the Dark Crystal.
Oh yeah. I remember that one. I do
remember what was on his shoulders was his daughter dressed up as a Gelfling. So perfect.
Yeah.
That one there definitely stuck out just because how inventive it was,
Yeah. Wow. I think the ones that really get to me specifically, I see the guys who dress up in the Warhammer 40K Space Marines.
Okay.
Oh boy, does that just pull on my heartstrings. Because I kind of see it from the building aspect of it, and just the size and the movements, and that really speaks to me. I've seen a lot of great fantasy ones, even ones I couldn't place my finger on. Just the level of detail that some people go into just is amazing. Geez. I've seen from the anime Goblin Slayer 2 years
Okay.
ago at 2 years ago at Grand Rapids. He was just spot on, and I'm just a sucker for details. And we got to talking about how he lit up his helmet, and I'm a sucker for details. And I just see people who just nail certain aspects, even if the whole kit doesn't get there. They just nail certain little aspects, and man, that just I love it. And we talked earlier, it's just like it doesn't matter how simple or how complex it is. If you're just putting your heart into it, it just looks amazing. I've seen some people who do the Sonic the Hedgehog characters. Man,
Yep.
some of those people just go absolutely all in, and they look amazing. Everything from down to the cuffs to the hair. Yeah, it's hard to pick out specific ones because I try to judge everyone in the fact of how much effort they put into it versus what the actual cosplay actually was. And
Yeah.
man, I just love the whole community, especially the ones here in Michigan. Man, everyone I've talked to and had interactions with, man, the people here in Michigan are amazing. Just the entire group of cosplayers. I don't think I've run into. I think I can count on one hand maybe any off interactions I've had, but primarily for the last 5 years or even more now, the people have been amazing. I've never run into a bad situation that I felt like off about.
Well, that's good to know. I mean, it's hard to say, definitely, because we're here in Michigan, so going to other ones does make it hard.
Yeah.
But for the cons that we've gone to here, really cool Comic Con, Kogan Con,
Yep.
Motor City Nightmares, Grand Rapids Comic Con, even up here in what do you call it? In Cadillac, they had a pop culture one, which threw me off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so even there was amazing,
Yeah.
But hopefully to branch out more, maybe hit Ohio,
Yeah.
Indiana, Chicago, definitely at some point. But yeah, I mean, everyone up here is amazing, and just
Oh yeah.
the community is fun. It really is.
Oh yeah.
I mean, a couple years ago, if you remember, Pink Opal actually did Dark Deku.
Oh yeah. 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 Oh man.
I remember turning
love that
around
one.
and seeing him walk towards me, and it was just, I had to stop, like, oh my God. Had to get a picture because the mask was phenomenal. The eyes, everything is, oh, no. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when I went to Motor City Nightmares, if you're familiar with the old Creepshow movie, so someone actually dressed up as a creature in the box and had the box
Yeah.
around him by the legs. So he was standing out of it, just all in his glory.
Oh yeah. 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 I remember going to school because obviously the Savini program. Well, they had a display of the box and everything and the creature and all that.
Oh.
And I don't remember if it actually said it was one of the screen used ones or not. I think it was. Don't hold me to that, but I think it was. And it was there all the time just so that the students could get some inspiration. And it was just, and I will say this right now, you Michigan cosplayers, you are hecka inspiration to the rest of us. Do not kid yourselves. You guys are amazing. Everybody, like I said, I said this here just a little earlier, a bit ago. Everybody's been amazing.
Yeah. But remember, a couple of those that go to Grand Rapids, those cosplayers, some of them are from Ohio as well.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So they travel up here and show off what they have, and their atmosphere about them is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Their attitude, just between Michigan and Ohio, from what I can see of the cosplayers, yeah, they're absolutely wonderful.
Oh yeah, yeah. I wish I could say I've gone to like the Chicago or the San Francisco or the New Yorks, but I haven't. But
Bucket list.
yeah, amen. But I love my local cons, man. Capital City, Grand Rapids, Motor City, Kogan. I love my local cons, man. The people have just been amazing. The showrunners, the guests, the patrons, everybody's just been amazing, and everybody just seems to work together, and it's been amazing.
I'd have to agree. This year being the first year I've actually gone to anything other than the Grand Rapids Comic Con, I've been able to go to the Spring Fling now for the first
Mhm.
time. Went to the Pop Culture Cadillac, Kogan out in Grand Haven,
Yep.
really cool out in Flint with Motor City Nightmares and Novi. You know, I actually was able to branch out and go to a lot. Each place, the people running it, the guests, the host, all of them, have been
Yeah.
just wonderful.
Yeah, I've gotten to talk to some of the showrunners, like from Grand Rapids and Capital City. Had many talks with them, and they are just so happy to talk about what they're looking forward to, and what they see as the future of these cons, and how can we as cosplayers add to that. And it's just been a pleasure working with your photographers, your showrunners, your other vendors, and everybody is starting to get on the same page about how to make these better for the patrons who are coming in to see all of us in one way, shape, or form.
Absolutely. Now, here's a big question for you. So you have your business, you have work, you have a little bit of everything, but you go to the cons, cosplay. How do you balance between the cosplay life and the normal life, I suppose you could say?
Well, it's not easy. Anybody who will tell you who's in this life, it is not easy to maintain an even balance of everything. Something at some point's got to give. Um, right now, even with myself, work has taken the real life work, the big boy job, has been taking a good chunk of my time. But you got to pace yourself. You can't always go all in on every project. You got to work within a schedule, work within your means, whether it be financial, whether it be time, whether it be a building of a piece. You got to work within your scheduling time and give yourself room to fail. A lot of people tend to forget that we as human beings fail a lot.
Yeah.
Me especially. I'll raise my hand to that one. But I also try to build myself enough room to fail and to grow and to learn and to come back again and take another stab at everything. Just being cognizant and being active to the process of what's going on around you. You got a deadline of November. We talked about this earlier.
Yeah.
And knowing that you're going to need time. Time is the biggest form factor to all of this. I would, money will come and go. It
Yeah.
just does. But time is something that you can never get back. So making sure take care of the people around you first, take care of yourself, take care of your family and your friends. Cosplay will be there tomorrow, but take care of your family and friends. Then make sure that you are in a good, healthy spot. Whether it be up here, whether it be financially, whatever it needs, you take care of you. And then you can worry about building your time for everything else. I would say that I'm a bit chaotic with everything, but realistically, I'm a sucker for a good schedule. Because I do have to plan around so many things. So a lot of what I do is scheduling around knowing that I have big projects to do and knowing that I have the big boy job to contend with, and making sure that I build around that time frame. It's for me, it's all about scheduling around everything.
Okay. Yeah, I have definitely been trying to work that out myself. I mean, having to do the podcast here with the different guests and work schedule has definitely been a big part, but
Yeah.
I know that I have a lot of areas that I have to work on. So I'm glad that I'm able to still fit things in, but
Yeah.
it's a work in progress.
Yeah, it's always a work in progress. Even myself, who's been a schedule freak for many, many years, things happen, life happens. But the biggest thing I can always say is that I look to take care of myself and take care of my family and friends first, and then everything will fall into place after that. Even if it doesn't, we're doing this for fun. And if you're not doing it for fun, yes, you could be doing it for a business, but it should still be fun. Um,
Yeah.
You should really, really take care of knowing what's important. And that's always going to be you and your family and friends. That's always first. If you're not putting that first, you're not long for this type of business. Because like we were just talking about a little bit ago, everything's about interaction and communication. You got to be in a good spot to talk about that kind of stuff, and to have a really good interaction, a really good communication, you got to be active. You got to be all there, and it's hard to do that if you're not in a good spot.
Very true. Very true. Now, I've also got a few of the photos that you have sent me. Put a nice little reel together to go ahead and showcase some of the stuff that
Awesome.
you've done. So let's take a look at that real quick.
Perfect.
I do like that.
Yeah, I've done some things, that's for sure.
Those masks are amazing, though.
Thank you. A lot of what I do is a lot of it's leather work, especially the orc mask. Leather just looks so much more realistic than anything else I've come across. And for facial features like that, I've tried multiple different mediums, but leather, a really good thin upholstery leather, just gives you so much more texture and detail that it's been crazy. And I love working with that stuff. Don't do it as much as I was, but the new mask that I have that is hopefully it will be ready for Grand Rapids. It's a world of level of difference in detail than the one I was wearing before that you could see with the plume and everything. It's just a world of difference.
Okay. I'll definitely look forward to that. Now, here's a big question for you as well. I know I say that, but it is, when you deep down and you're thinking about them, they are kind of considered big because you
Yeah.
really have to think for it.
Oh yeah.
What is a dream cosplay that you have that you'd love to get done?
If all the world and all the stars aligned,
Okay.
I really, really, really want to do a Macross / Robotech Valkyrie, and I want the full pilot costume.
Wow.
That's I've been chasing that one. I'm going to be chasing that one for years, but that's what I want more than anything else. I grew up with Robotech, and growing up, I wanted to be a Veritech pilot so bad, so bad. I actually served in the Air Force because that was in the back of my brain the whole time. I had to do something with planes, and
Wow.
I ended up being a structural mechanic in the Air Force because I wanted to work on jet planes. Kind of did, but mostly it was on refueling aircraft, but neither here nor there. But I was close. I got my hands on a few of them. But that was my go-to, and it will always be my go-to. some of my most prized possessions are Robotech Macross based items. That is going to always be my go-to. And the moment I can meet Tony Oliver and get him to sign anything, I will die a happy man. And I just don't get to the cons that he's at. And oh man, that is my go-to. If anybody up above sees this, know that that's where I want to go.
Well, who knows? Maybe with a little bit of convincing, we can go ahead and get him to come to one of ours.
I wouldn't be mad about that at all.
That would be amazing. But you remember Brazen Monkey, who went ahead and did the giant Panther and Battle Cat,
yeah.
Iron Giant, and all that?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of curious, what would he say to doing a giant Macross Robotech cockpit?
Oh man, that would be crazy. I would do whatever I could to help. I would volunteer free time. I would push everything else aside to help that. That would be amazing.
For anyone who doesn't know, I don't know if he still goes by Brazen Monkey. I think they might have changed the name, but this guy has done some phenomenal work. Him and his family, they've shown up to cons, brought a giant Appa that is rideable that you can take photos with. The Iron Giant, which according to him was very clunky, hard to maneuver. So sadly, if you saw it, you're lucky. If you haven't, unfortunately, probably won't ever see it again.
Yeah.
Battle Cat, Panther, the Toothless, and White Light Fury as well. So they've done all these, and who knows what they're going to do next. But all I can say is I can't wait. If they show up at Grand Rapids or any of the other cons I'm going to, I will be there to support because it's amazing what they do.
Oh, absolutely. I absolutely adore when they show up, and they do amazing work. And the way they just allow people to be able to interact with their sets has just been amazing. I can't say enough about them. They do amazing stuff.
Very true. Sadly, I got to see the Iron Giant, but I missed out on climbing up on him because that was the same year I hurt my knee.
Oh, yeah.
So I couldn't make up the stairs.
Yeah.
But still, seeing it from afar, wow. I mean, you literally are standing in a full life-size hand with the head behind you. I mean, how could you not want to do that?
Yeah. Absolutely. I remember the Appa. What was the Appa I had? I think it was Motor City. Motor City. They brought Appa to Motor City, and it was just watching everybody just their faces just lit up. And it's just been, like I said, everybody in this community just does amazing stuff in one way, shape, or form. Everybody from the vendors to the artists. Man, some of the best people I love seeing are the artists at the Comic-Cons, and getting to just talk with them, even when I'm in my full orc getup, and we're just sitting there bashing stuff back and forth. And I love the community. I do.
I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, it's a family away from home and from other family. You know, it's just, unless you've experienced it, it's really hard to put into words. It really is.
Yeah. I just and to all my fellow cosplayers out there, if you see me in any one of those you saw earlier, please come up and talk to me. I want to talk to you. I want to conversate with you. I want to get to know what you're doing and how you're doing and how you're getting to where you're at with your stuff. Please, I'm here. I'm here for you. Please use me as a resource. I'm here for you.
Yeah, I go to the cons. I have fun. But at the same time, I'm willing to go ahead and record part of the podcast right there. You know, you want to be on the show, even if you're not on a full episode and you just want to do a segment, talk about what you're doing there at the con, who you're wearing, you know. Yeah, let's do it. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
I'm there. I'm going to have fun with it. You know, I'm going to say yes.
You know, yeah, I will never say no to every time, every photo, there's not one time I will never say no. I want you to have a great time, whether it's taking a photo with me, asking me about my stuff, let me ask you about your stuff. I want to know everything that's going on around us, because this is a lightning in a bottle sort of thing. And we don't get enough of it in our lives. And I hate to say it, and I'm going to be one of those guys, you know, the mobile phones, it's taken a lot of that away from us. We don't have that same human interaction, and the cons just kind of put that back. At least for me. I mean, maybe that's just because I'm getting old. I don't know, but I think the cons are just it's harkening back to something I grew up with, and it's getting to know people. It's having that human interaction, and it's a different world when you're there.
Yeah, no, I hear you. We actually had one of the guests that goes to the Grand Rapids Comic Con every year, at least for the years that I've gone.
Mm-hmm.
You would be familiar with him, Dr. Mortis.
Oh yeah, oh absolutely.
So he, of course, was a guest on the show,
Mm-hmm.
and he said the same thing about how the screen time, the phones, everything has taken up time, and
Yeah.
the interaction between people, it's lacking nowadays compared to how it used to. But one of the big things that he was, really, really talking about, it was deep into his heart, was making sure get out there and read.
Yeah.
Too many people don't read books anymore. They rely
Yeah.
on, mobile data, everything else like that, games. And honestly, I have finally been able to go ahead and take the time to read again.
Yeah.
I now have purchased 9 books, and I've been going through them. And some are old school classics, but just done in a different way. Others are brand new books that were created from some of our local vendors that come to the cons.
Oh yeah. Some of my
and
favorite books are from some of the Michigan writers. Jean, her books are amazing. And please let me plug your books. Your books are amazing. I love your books. Brian and his omnibuses been amazing. Christy, even the Comic-Con folks, Christy McClure, she's one of my favorite people. One of the nicest ladies you'll ever meet. Oh boy. And I every time I go to a con, I make sure to stop by her booth and make sure to get her latest copy of Extras. Her comics are the best. And she's one of the nicest ladies I've ever met. But you're absolutely right. The videos, all the streaming stuff nowadays, the YouTubes, the TikToks, and everything else, is just taking away from that social aspect and throwing it into a digital space that, unfortunately or fortunately, is just not. It just takes away from everything else that's going on around you. And maybe I'm just an old head, and I just love I love messing with people. I love that people interaction. It keeps me going at work, is getting on the phone and talking to a guest. Or stopping at a table talking to people. And it's the more you do of that, the more you get used to it again. And then you're like, man, this is so much easier than trying to text somebody a menu description of something. I could just tell you straight to your face, and everything works amazing. Going back to that human interaction again.
Very true. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still use TikTok. I still am on my phone, but like doing the podcast here, I'm still trying to interact with people to go ahead and actually talk to them, and getting to that aspect here where we're one-on-one or 1-on-4, how many, and not just relying on, oh, here's a video, look at this, and then it's done. So at least trying to go ahead and utilize it in a way that we're still connecting. But, I get it. I mean, it's hard. I mean, this is the day and age that we live in, so it's ready, it's available. So
it's gonna be. I would be shocked if it ever went any sort of way backwards, but it just won't. Technology marches on.
True, but I mean, if clothes can come back from back in the day, who knows? Maybe other types of things as well.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. Anything can happen. You never know. Payphones may come back. You never know. But,
I would love that. Honestly, I don't care what anyone says. I would love to see payphones again. I miss that.
Yeah, I saw one not too long ago in a local Myers, and I'm like, oh my God, there's still one around. And I would be shocked, but yeah.
So for the venue of where I'm at, we're going to have to be closing up here soon. So I have 2 more questions for you before we end the episode. have you noticed any type of challenges that you've actually dealt with? You know, trying to go ahead and deal with the cosplay now, your business, compared to how it used to be. I mean,
Well, I would say the most challenging part now is because there's so much information out there. Like we were just talking about the cell phone issue. There's just so much flooding of information that to be a new creator of whatever it be, whether it be a cosplay, whether it be a business, whether it be special effects, to break into that market or to break into that social circle, it is not easy to get past that first step. Um, but it does come eventually. And when it comes like a floodgate. Once it opens, it you will get flooded. But the biggest challenge was getting to that spot where getting your foot in the door. That was the biggest challenge. Um, and I feel like it's harder now because there are so many people getting into it, and it's hard to differentiate yourself from everybody else. And the only issue to that is you got to go in with a plan.
very true. Very, very. And the main thing, of course, to close this up, you know, what would you go ahead and say to any future cosplayer out there or a cosplayer who's been struggling? You know, what would your words of wisdom be?
Don't quit. A lot of people will tell you to just stop. You're not going to get there. You're not going to get to the contest. You're not going to win the contest. You're not going to. There's going to be a whole lot of negativity, and don't give up. There is a world of resources here for you, whether it be a guest on our show or your show, or someone a vendor at a booth. There's cosplayers walking around there. Please, if you need assistance, open up and ask. There's hundreds of people who will be happy to help you. Don't give up. Keep going. As a guy who had no artistic background, who now makes a lot of artistic stuff, this face, you can do it. I know I can do it. You can do it. Don't give up. Keep trying. Just ask for help. Please ask for help. And utilize the resources around you. If you can't find a resource, ask someone where their resources come from, and then they will point you in the right direction. But yes, keep trying. Keep sticking at it. Doesn't matter how good or bad or indifferent it is. Keep going. I believe in you. The world of cosplayers believe in you. Keep going.
Well said. Absolutely beautiful. And you are correct. If anyone out there, I mean, if you're watching this episode, or if someone's showing you this episode and you have that doubt and you need resources, message me. I'm always available. I have many people that I have connected with that I know, and I gladly would go ahead and send you to them. We would, all of us, be willing to help you out, whether it's something small, something large, or you just need to talk, you know?
Yes.
Our doors are always
Absolutely.
open. Definitely. I appreciate it so much for being onto the show. I mean, I apologize that you weren't here last season, but I am glad that you were here, and you have the show to yourself today, of course. So it was all about you today.
Well, again, thank you for letting me come back. I know it was things beyond my control, but I'm glad that we had this chance to catch up, and I always look forward to seeing you at the cons. We bump heads quite a bit, and I look forward to seeing you at Grand Rapids in November. Come see me at the Star Trek booth.
Oh yeah,
little quick plug there.
Take that time right there. You know, yes, he is going to be at the Star Trek booth and the Grand Rapids Comic Con up in November. They've changed things around. It's going to be a lot better. You have not only a new cast of people, new displays, but one of the guests showing up to the con, of course, if you're not following it just yet, is Walter Coing. So G1 Star Trek right here. New Star Trek, everything all together. Come see them.
Yeah,
Definitely
absolutely. Yes, please say hi. Please stop by. I'll probably be in some sort of uniform, or I'll be in one of my other little characters that are behind me here. But please come say something. I want to talk to you. I want to know all about you. Let's make this community bigger, brighter. All of you are a part of it. Please come see us.
Exactly. Definitely. Well, thank you again. And this is our episode for Cosplayers Paradigm. Of course, I've said before, and I will say it again. Remember, if you have an idea and you dream it, believe, create. Thank you. Have a good night to everyone.
Are you interested in cosplay, currently a cosplayer, or have an experience you wish to share? Want to be on the show? Simply text, email, or send a message on our Facebook page. I can't wait to hear from you.